Quick entrance. In today's video, we have got two stories. Let's start. I decided to move to another city to stop my wife's brewing affair in time. My wife and I got married at 19 and we're still together and in love at 51. Over that time, we raised three wonderful kids. An amazing life lived together. But sometimes I think a person can meet someone with whom they just have an incredible connection. I think that's what happened with my wife. We moved 1,500 kilometers from our hometown for my job. She got a job at a hospital in the new city and hated her work for the first 3 years. She literally went there every day like it was hard labor, constantly crying. I supported her as much as I could, helped with her resume because she wanted to find another job, lent a shoulder, listened, and worried. I love her with all my heart and will always be by her side. 3 years later, a new employee showed up at her job. He did the same thing as her, just in a different department. He's honestly a really nice guy. I met him a few times. He was in the thick of the same mess they had to deal with at work, so he understood her better than I did. He spent more time with her than I could afford. When you work full-time, you spend more time with colleagues than with family. That's a fact. He really helped her change her attitude toward work. They started working as a team, and the job became easier for both of them. I saw them getting closer professionally, but then it went beyond work, and they started getting closer as friends outside the office. We all know where that can lead. It started to worry me, but I didn't want to seem like an insecure, jealous guy, so I didn't interfere. They were constantly texting, spending the whole day together at work in a shared workspace, just the two of them, chatting nonstop. I saw their relationship developing right before my eyes. My wife and I were as close as two people could be, but I started feeling that this work connection was affecting our you and me against the world. A third person was confidently entering our marriage. I started telling her it bothered me, that I didn't like how she acted around another man, and every time it was brushed off. Don't be silly, we're just friends and colleagues. He has a fiancée. He's the only one who makes this job bearable, and you want me to ignore him? It was a lousy situation all around. I honestly didn't know what to do. My field is highly specialized and well paid. As if by chance, or fate, or the universe, call it what you want, an HR person called me. A company in our hometown was looking for a new top manager to head an entire division. A huge position, a huge salary, all in our hometown. I loved my current job, and by then my wife loved her job and her colleague, and we both liked the new city. In a normal situation, I'd have told the headhunter thanks, but no. But this time, I saw it as a chance to improve our marriage. My wife couldn't say no to such an opportunity. It was a big position, a salary almost double, and in our hometown with family and friends. I saw how devastated she was at the thought of leaving this new best friend to whom I know she was starting to develop real feelings. I know my wife loved that man. I also know she still loved me, and I think she would never have cheated or left me for him, but I saw that I was slowly losing her. She wasn't doing anything physical, but something was growing between them. When we all met, I noticed that his fiancée hated my wife, even though they never talked, which meant she also felt a threat to their relationship and didn't like their friendship either. I applied, went through the interview, got the offer, and accepted the job. Deep down, I'd say I accepted it 10% for the job itself, and 90% to get my wife to stop talking to her colleague friend. We moved. She was upset about leaving that job and her buddy. I saw how sad and hard it was for her to lose that guy. I knew they had a full-on emotional connection, even if they didn't realize it themselves. Often, these things start exactly like that. Nobody realizes anything until it's too late, and a family falls apart. I understand this might not be the most ideal way to solve a problem, but it worked. My wife found a new job in our hometown. We returned to our usual social circle, to friends, to family. The first few months, they occasionally texted on Facebook and kept in touch, but that stopped long ago. Out of sight, out of mind. Now they don't talk at all. He's since married his fiancée, and my wife and I are very happy together again. I literally felt things changing. One day, while we were sitting on the couch watching TV, her head on my shoulder, she looked at me and said, "I love you so much. I know that for a while in the city we used to live in, I wasn't the best wife. I was miserable at work and partly blamed you for us moving there. My colleague became like a battle buddy. When you go through the same stuff together, you get close. But looking back, I realize it was wrong and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I'll never do it again. You're the love of my life. All's well that ends well. I love my wife with all my heart, and she loves me. We'll be together until one of us dies of old age. There's a good chance I would have taken that job anyway. It was a great opportunity, but back then, I accepted it not for the career. I accepted it because there was a threat to my marriage, the most important thing in my life, and I saw a chance to eliminate that threat. I took that chance and will never apologize for what I did. Update. Too many comments to reply to each one. My wife and I are reading this thread together. We do everything together. We're a team. She asked me to add something for those who might find themselves in a situation like hers. Sometimes you really don't see how these things creep up, but if you're not vigilant, you can destroy the best thing in your life. She's as happy as I am with how things turned out. We're not particularly religious, but this situation made me wonder if there's someone up there watching over us, throwing us a solution when things go sideways. The main thing is not to ignore it. I know I was insanely lucky that the job opportunity came up. I honestly didn't know what to do. I felt completely helpless. Not everyone gets that lucky. I'll always be grateful for that opportunity. There were a lot of assumptions in this thread about me, my wife, our whole life. Some kind, some not so much, some outright nasty. I get it. You only see a tiny piece of our life. But I can assure you we've been happily married for 32 years and will be together until death, maybe even after. Are we both ready to do whatever it takes to protect our marriage from any negative influences in this world? You bet. My wife tells this story even more often than I do. She's told it to our grown kids as a cautionary tale, saying that if the situation were reversed, she would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have been mad if she had. Over the years, I've had a few close female friends, and when my wife felt one of them might want more than just friendship, she spoke up. A couple of times I said, "Oh, don't be silly, we're just friends." But looking back, I realized she wasn't being silly at all. Those friendships could have become a threat to our marriage, but we didn't find out because we nipped it in the bud and put our relationship first. The only thing I can wish for everyone here is to find the same happiness my wife and I share. It's incredible, and if you don't have it yet, I hope you find it. Peace to you. Well, that's it. A very philosophical story, in my opinion. As I understand it, there are two views on this issue. The first is that if some sort of fling starts brewing, don't interfere. Sometimes even encourage it. Some unique individuals even prank their partners, setting up tests to see if their partner will hold up or not, and if they don't, then they're somehow unreliable. The second perspective on relationships is what we see in this story. If you really have to work on a relationship, why not work in this way too? You probably know, of course you know, those couples where, for example, the girl or guy keeps their partner on a tight leash, literally. Knowing that guy, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm friends with guys. If you don't keep him on a tight leash, he'll definitely slip. And yeah, he finds a girl like that, and what happens? Of course, she keeps him on a tight leash because if she doesn't, everything goes sideways right away. Of course, a parallel comes to mind with alcoholics or others who can't control themselves and need a partner like that. Okay, I'm getting carried away. Anyway, write in the comments what you thought of these stories. I personally really liked all three. The video turned out very dynamic. The first one with the girl who didn't fall for the whole husband and housewife thing. The second one, what a riot, pure chaos and trash. I don't think we've had stories like that before. It's hilarious in the sense that you realize she should have dumped that husband ages ago, but how she held on to him? It's honestly kind of funny. There's so much of that. But few people write about it because, well, you're kind of putting yourself in a bad light. And the third, a philosophical take on relationships, really hit home for me. I'll definitely think about it more. Let's move to second story. I think my husband cheated on me yesterday. Maybe it's been going on for a long time. How do I find out the truth? I'm 38 years old. My husband is 40, and we've been together for 17 years, married for almost 15 of them. We have 5 kids. We've always had a wonderful relationship. He's an amazing husband and father. He provides for the family, takes care of my emotional and physical needs, makes sure we always have fun and interesting times. He showers me with attention, often gives me flowers, everything I could dream of. I try to be the most loving and affectionate wife. I always tell him how much I love him and how much I appreciate him. Yesterday morning, I saw 2 messages on his phone from a woman whose name meant nothing to me. They said, "Come and get it, and you'll be surprised," with red hearts in both. I was so shocked and crushed that I didn't say a word and pretended everything was fine. I didn't have time to check his phone because he left for work almost immediately. He came home about an hour later than usual and said he got stuck in traffic. But I tracked his location. He went to some unfamiliar area and spent about 30 minutes there. I thought we were doing great, so I desperately don't want to believe he's cheating. But all the facts point to the opposite. Last night, we watched a movie together, and today we went to the beach with the kids and friends. Still, I can't stop replaying it in my head. He has a wife and 5 wonderful kids who love him. I just don't understand how he could risk all of this. How do I find out the truth? Comments. You just need to talk to him. There might be a logical explanation. I'm terrified that the truth will be exactly what I'm thinking. If your husband isn't guilty and you dump "I know everything" on him, it could ruin your marriage and the blame will be on you. Right now, you only have 2 messages as evidence. Not much. What if he was just arranging with a colleague or acquaintance for a gift or surprise for you, and you assumed he's cheating? Healthy, open communication is what holds a marriage together. If you can't just sit next to him and say, "Listen, I wasn't snooping in your phone, but I accidentally saw these messages. They seem suspicious. What's going on?" then your marriage isn't as strong as you think. Update. Well, everything's fine with us. For clarity, there wasn't a single clear sign of cheating. My husband is still emotionally invested in our relationship. We have an active, intimate life. He's as loving and attentive as ever. He doesn't hide his phone or disappear for long without explanation. The thing is, after our youngest was born, I started having issues with eating behavior and gained about 16 kilograms over 2 years. My self-esteem, confidence, and intimate life with my husband were awful back then. But for almost a year now, I've been getting up early with him to work out, watching my diet, cooking healthier food for the whole family, and I've lost about 7 kilograms in that time. My husband has been very supportive and affectionate throughout. My confidence has somewhat returned, and our intimate life is much better now than it was those years. But still, I sometimes feel insecure, especially since my husband has gotten even more handsome and fit during our marriage. To the point, I'm terrible at lying or hiding things from my husband, so I couldn't go the reverse psychology route as some suggested. Last night, after the kids went to bed, I directly told my husband I saw those messages on his phone and tracked his location. I demanded an explanation. He laughed, thinking I was joking, but I started crying and said I needed the truth. Then he said we needed to go outside and that he wanted to show me something. He opened the car trunk and there was a bag. He told me to open it. Inside was a photo album, a chronicle of our photos with him and the kids over all 15 years of marriage. It was supposed to be a gift for our anniversary, which is in a few days. The messages were from his colleague whose husband makes custom albums for special occasions. My husband was discussing creating a personalized album with her. On Friday evening, he stopped by their place to pick it up. And the red hearts? She just puts them in every message. He showed me the entire conversation, including the messages I saw. He hadn't deleted anything. He even joked that I ruined his surprise. We stayed up late flipping through the album, reminiscing about past moments. All I can say is I'm endlessly grateful to my husband. That's it. Top comments. The moral of the story: don't always listen to us jerks. This time, it worked out. You need to leave him. Oh, sorry, that's just automatic. Well, that's the story. Very atypical for our channel, I think. Usually, if some cheating is brewing, it actually happens, but not here. I hope you enjoyed the video with 2 whole stories. Good luck.